President and CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of America. I'm excited to invite you to a very special event, the Boys and Girls Club of North Mississippi's annual Dance Like the Stars Gala. It's a great time and a great event, and I can speak from experience. Several years ago, I was one of the participants, so I know you're going to enjoy this. It's happening on Saturday, July 19th at 6:30 p.m. at the Cadence Bank Arena. Visit www.bgcnms.org to get your tickets, and we'll see you at Dance Like the Stars.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Good evening and welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor. What a hot day it's been, but knowing that tomorrow's going to be even hotter makes us appreciate today just a little bit more, right? Well, we have a lot to discuss in today's shows. First, starting with those heat advisories in effect for tomorrow afternoon, walking you through just what those temperatures will reach here in just a couple of moments. But rain chances, they're picking up by the end of the week, and a big part of that is the tropics. But we do have good news for the tropics, or at least as good of news as you could get for that tropical system that we were tracking even just a couple of hours ago. So looking the latest on those tracks, we'll walk you through that forecast here in just a couple of moments. First, I want to take a look outside at what has been a beautiful forecast. Crenshaw, that was where we saw the last of those remaining showers over by Tunica into Senatobia and especially by South Haven. The Memphis showers that we were talking about moving into town, well, they did, but they dissolved just like we said. So that forecast verifying very well. But 79 degrees right now, it's just a sign of things to come because that temperature just a few degrees above average. And that's where they'll be for the next 48 hours. 79 down around Batesville as well. We got eyes on those same showers down around Batesville, but those have since dissipated as well. That dew point being around 77 with temperatures around 79. Humidity showing at extremely high values. That's where it's going to... I hope that doesn't turn off. Okay, we're good now. So yeah, looking at that forecast, it is just going to be a hot and muggy forecast into the next 24 hours. So buckle up. Mississippi Live Weather Radar showing you clear conditions across the region. Overall, just remaining clear. We saw those showers that were moving through earlier, and we can see just how those have dissolved on out over the past couple of hours. I'm going to put this on a loop of about 3 hours. You can see across the Mississippi River, move into South Haven and Olive Branch and dissipate out very quickly. The large batch of thunderstorms that are up around Camden towards I-40, those are the ones that are still long-lived, but anything south of the state line has not lasted too long, and we're seeing drier conditions right now as we saw out of Clarksdale, as we saw out of Batesville, and we can see out of any of our North Mississippi cameras. Thank you to North Mississippi Storm Chasers for allowing us to use that because it gives us a visual that we're good here in North Mississippi. Looking at those rainfall totals, though, I mean, nothing in North Mississippi aside from what we saw as they crossed the Mississippi River. But looking at those rainfall totals, yes, they were short, but we did get some decent totals. Half an inch down around the Mississippi River, just on the west side of Highway 61. Over there towards Arkansas, though, you can see the rainfall totals, definitely a bit of a different story. So I know some folks out there were tracking those thunderstorms through the afternoon. Not here in North Mississippi. We're enjoying a calm and comfortable afternoon all Tuesday long. I don't remember what day it was. They all run together at this point. But the first 12, you can see that it is going to be a dry forecast overnight, so we're not getting rid of those great conditions just yet. And towards tomorrow morning, the sunshine's still sticking around, and you think, well, that's such a good thing. Well, it is to an extent, because it's going to warm our atmosphere up big time. 81 by 8 a.m., 92 by 11. So if you want to get anything done, you got to wake up by like 6 a.m. to have a comfortable feeling forecast. But what we're tracking with the heat is this low pressure center out there towards the Gulf Coast of Florida. Now, this has just moved inland to the Gulf, and this is what we're talking about, having some good news, because those tracks are not trending in the direction where it would make it stronger. It's trending a little bit better, more inland, and that's just going to provide heavy showers and bands of moisture. But overall, I'm not seeing anything too significant when it comes to storm development over the next 24 hours. So paying attention to that low, paying attention to that high, those are the two things that are providing us these drier conditions across the region. Just zooming things out, we've been talking about the direction of the winds in the upper atmosphere and high pressure having that clockwise motion. Low pressure having that counterclockwise motion. So you get all of this air coming up from St. Louis, from Nebraska, things like that. And where this air is a much drier forecast. So that's why we're getting those drier conditions moving into North Mississippi, and a lot of that moisture being moved out there towards the northeast, fizzling out. We're not seeing that develop anything more. Out towards the west, northwest, we are tracking more showers and storms, but that frontal boundary does not reach us at all. And we are not seeing any cooling off aside from some rain-cooled air, any chance of a line of moisture. It'll be very sporadic development. So that's why we're getting that same development. It's still because of those atmospheric developments that we've been watching for the past, 48 hours now? I've learned that summer forecasts in Mississippi are very copy and paste every single day, but not the case for the next 24 hours. Again, heat advisory is going to be in place, but we're going to walk through Futurecast and kind of watch this storm down towards the Gulf. As that moves more into the Gulf, what it's entering into is a microwave of moisture and heat. And so that's going to allow this storm to build in strength. But staying more inland allows for that shear that's on land. Shear is not good for hurricanes or for any tropical systems for that matter. It just basically rips it apart in the upper atmosphere. So not seeing that really strengthen because it's remaining so far inland. That low not exactly lining up with the positioning of this storm. The storm more right along that Florida coast. So by 9 a.m. Wednesday, really just seeing a large batch of moisture and thunderstorms, but not seeing anything overly significant. Maybe 20 to 30 mile an hour gusts. We got several people down at Panama City, I've learned as well. So for folks down in Panama City, buckle up for a rainy Wednesday. It's not going to be the most pretty of days, but you can't have a pretty day every single day at the beach. I mean, you're at the beach. You have to have some bad, right? So into the afternoon, again, it's going to still be sporadic development. So maybe a few breaks here and there, but still probably going to be a dreary day all day long for any folks at the beach. Up here in North Mississippi, though, staying on the drier side, and that's how it'll be for the majority of our Wednesday. The next 24 showing exactly that. Really going to see that sunshine build throughout the day, and by lunchtime, we're talking about temperatures in the low to mid 90s, 3 p.m., mid to more than likely upper 90s for a lot of locations. Some areas are talking triple digits, and I say a prayer for them, because that is a hot, blistery forecast. And we do not want that here in North Mississippi, but unfortunately July finally kicking in and driving our forecast. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Still seeing those warm temperatures stick around. But beyond that, that's where that Gulf moisture will really drive that forecast. So coming up in the next 60, we're tracking the exact positioning on that storm, on that tropical development, just how much we'll see here in North Mississippi and what to expect over here in the next 48 hours. So in the next 60, we're tracking tropics. In the next 60, we're tracking temperatures. Basically the entire end of your week. So make sure to stay tuned here in the next 60 as we walk through that and also show a few Weather Watcher pictures. Plenty to look forward to. We'll see you here in just a minute.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 10. We're going to start with a picture from the beach. And I know what you're thinking, Gabe, why are you rubbing it in my face that I'm not at the beach? Well, honestly, this is the forecast at the beach right now with several strikes of lightning, a very energetic storm moving through parts of Panama City. So Cheryl, thank you for submitting that picture. I mean, it has not been the picture perfect forecast, but I hope that you and your family have gotten at least a few moments outside to enjoy the forecast. Just make sure to not be outside when this is happening. We don't want to be in the water when all that electricity is in the air that could strike the water, and then it's just a bad situation. So stay on the safe side. Hopefully you get a few breaks, and hopefully you've gotten a few good days down there before this tropical system has really ramped up. But we also did get a picture submitted from Minneapolis, our own Matt Lobhan out in the field. This was pictured by Susan, just of him talking to, I don't know if this was a traveler. I assume a traveler because they're at the airport, but I don't know if this was just a regular Minnesotian. Is that what they're called? That's what we're going to call him today. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. I probably am. But no, it's just so fun. This was after his live shot. So if you were with us tonight at 6, you might have seen him. He's out with his wife, just enjoying a nice little vacation, well-deserved vacation. So Matt, I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're not tuning in right now. I hope you're enjoying it. But yeah, we're definitely grateful for him, and this is much deserved after all that he's done here for us over the past couple of weeks, also a couple of months. Mississippi Live Weather Radar showing you those dry conditions. As I mentioned, you see those showers just dissolving as they cross the Mississippi River, Memphis and Hernando. So that was earlier by about 8 o'clock. And we saw about a ½ inch of rainfall. It was pretty decent, but that says typical summertime thunderstorms fizzling on out. And there's a better look at that moisture as it moved across the Mississippi River, now entering clear air mode, where basically that's a sign of the drier forecast, and not going to see anything too impactful into the overnight hours either. Just nothing forcing that moisture into our area, and we're going to keep with that drier, calmer forecast. As we look down south, we are seeing that low pressure center. I know there's not the L on your screen, but you can see the moisture and point out exactly where that low is. Still off the coast of Florida right now, but as it remains off the coast, it is building in strength, but not expected to remain off the coast for long. And we'll look at tracks here in just a moment of where that will go. But hopefully not developing anything in regards to a depression, storm, definitely hoping not a hurricane. And we don't expect it to be, especially with what those recent model runs are showing. So that's a great sign. That's good news for the tropics, because it definitely could have been a worse situation. Day planner for tomorrow shows sunshine all day long. And while that looks picture perfect, it looks picture perfect if you're inside looking out a window while you're in the air conditioning enjoying the cooler temperatures, because 96 degrees is not comfortable at all as we head into our Wednesday afternoon, especially when you factor in the mugginess, bad temperatures. But looking at that overnight hours, still seeing those dry conditions in place, as will be just that calm forecast that we've been seeing. So no moisture expected in our immediate forecast, but into our Wednesday afternoon, those build just a bit more. But first, low temperatures already trending a bit warmer, mid-70s across the region. So that's just a sign of things to come a bit further into the afternoon, because if it's warmer in the morning, it's going to be warmer in the afternoon, especially with what we're seeing here in Mississippi. So carrying that over into the mid-morning, still seeing a little bit of moisture in the form of some cloud cover. This means that there's moisture in the air, so that mugginess is still going to factor in, especially as we get towards noontime and those clouds really start to build in a bit more. These are what we call cirrus clouds, which are high up in the sky, not putting a damper on the sunshine, but just adding to the moisture in the atmosphere. So that mugginess value really increasing by lunchtime, but really ramping up towards the mid to late afternoon. Even in the form of a few isolated showers, while these do bring brief relief, these actually add to the steaminess factor, because they're happening at 1:30. Once they happen and fizzle out, it's going to be 3 p.m., which is peak heating, and so those start to dry up, and that adds to the steam in the atmosphere, adds to the moisture. So while it looks good on paper, it doesn't feel as good in real life. So continuing that, 3 p.m., those isolated showers do continue, but again, just going to add to that steaminess, and that carries over into the 5-6 o'clock hour as well. Now, coverage looks a little bit more extensive here, but I do have this about 20 to possibly 30% coverage at peak, because of how dry the atmosphere has been and the atmospheric setup that's still cycling in a lot of that continental air up north. So while that still remains in place, not expecting extreme chances of rainfall, but just enough to add to that stickiness. High temperatures tomorrow, this is the graphic that just makes you want to cry looking at it. Mid to upper 90s across the region, 97 Columbus, Starkville, Houston, 95 in New Albany, but we're really seeing that 98 Greenwood, Belzona, and 99 over and around Greenville. It's just not exactly the best setup. So one where you stay indoors, or if you have to go outside, take frequent breaks and stay hydrated. Be pumping those fluids all day long. 106 Houston, 105 Starkville, 108 towards Eupora. That's that heat indice value. And those are normally where we're seeing the double digits. At least we have been the past couple of days. Over towards Greenwood, Cleveland, Clarksdale, we're talking about 110, 111. It's just going to feel so sticky outside. So don't go outside if you don't have to. And I know that we usually say that with severe weather. Well, I'm saying it with this because it is dangerous heat. But if you have to, please stay hydrated and please stay as cool as possible. Even into the overnight hours, those temperatures do take a bit to start cooling off. So by the time we're getting towards 10 p.m., there you go. Perfect temperatures, right around the low 80s, upper 70s, as will be the case heading overnight as we drop back into about the mid 70s for your Thursday morning. Still seeing the chance at a few showers, and I really want you to pay attention. And we have upped these percentages just a bit because latest model runs start to show those bands of moisture really kicking in. Noontime, starting to see that first band develop right over the top of North Mississippi from that tropical system. Then the rest of the moisture comes in, and we're seeing large batches of moisture that we'll be tracking here at Mississippi Live Weather Thursday at 5 and 6 because those showers sticking around right during our time frame for our for our weathercast. So this is going to be an active pattern with lots of showers and storms, but I don't really have that possibility of severe weather being as high. Gusts could definitely get up to 10, 20, maybe even 30 miles an hour at times, but not reaching those 60-mile-an-hour thresholds like what we were possibly thinking beforehand, especially, I mean, down around the coastal region, different story, but here in North Mississippi in particular, that's what I'm talking about. High temperatures for your Thursday still going to be on the hot side for sure. 96 Bruce, 95 Oxford and Holly Springs, still 97 out there towards the Delta with heat indices well into the triple digits yet again across North Mississippi with those highest values coming in 110 Clarksdale, 108 Tunica, Grenada, 109 towards Greenwood. Just that hot, muggy Mississippi weather. No surprise in July that we're experiencing it. We just haven't seen it in a while. And we haven't seen many of these so far this year with those heat advisories in effect. This in place for your Wednesday afternoon, including into the nighttime, 9 p.m. that evening. While it expires at 9 p.m., I do have a few of those extending into Thursday as well, just expecting it to because those heat indices still showing well above 105, especially out there towards the Mississippi Delta. So it's that hot forecast still sticking around. Whether there's a heat advisory or not, stay on the safe side, stay hydrated, and stay cool. Today, Wednesday, Thursday, even into the weekend, despite it being on the lower side, 91 cooling off just a bit, but those heat indices still going to be in the triple digits, and we need to prepare ahead of time. Now, I want to show heat indices on the same graphic because it's just unbelievable looking at a few of those. Wednesday and Thursday surpassing that 110 mark easily. Friday, Saturday, still around 105. And Sunday, there's your relief. But, I mean, the relief comes with a grain of salt because rainfall moves back into the forecast. So that's why we're cooling off. That rain-cooled air keeping us somewhat cool for our Sunday, at least as cool as we can be for July. Monday and Tuesday, those heat indices build yet again, and we're in for another hot forecast next week. So it's not ending there. If anything, July is just getting started, and it's going to come with some vengeance. So here's what we're looking at. And they stuck with the 40% chance of development over the next 2 days, 40% chance of development over the next 7. And that's the National Hurricane Center putting those out. And still, we're watching that as it moves into the Gulf, just how it'll develop over the next 24 hours while it is in the Gulf. But latest spaghetti plots, this is basically multiple models tracking it out. You can see how some of those are having it move inland and not even affect North Mississippi as it moves towards Alabama and Georgia. Now, those are not the expected models. Expected models that I would really expect to happen is moving right along that Florida coast, which, as we mentioned, battling a ton of shear right here towards Panama City. So it's going to be a lot of moisture for folks down at the beach, but hopefully not anything strong in regards to tropical force winds. So that'll probably make landfall back again towards New Orleans, maybe even back there towards Biloxi, where we see that Mississippi coast, before moving into Louisiana and Arkansas. If it were to take that path, which we expect it to, as of right now, that's what I've seen on models, we would expect that to cause an influx of moisture here in North Mississippi, as we are on the right side, and that's where we could get some of those stronger wind gusts, 20 to 30 miles an hour. So really paying attention to that as we head further into our the weekend where we're seeing those heightened rain chances, but that's the latest spaghetti plots. And I know we were talking earlier, some folks were asking about water temperatures. Whenever you see those reds happening, that is more than sufficient fuel for these storms to develop. So we are very fortunate that that track did not go further into the Gulf to build in this microwave of the Gulf that we have here. It's going to stick inland where it's a high shear environment, not nearly as warm and not nearly as much water. So hopefully that keeps everything at bay, and we'll continue to see that sink just a bit more. As for Saharan dust, that typically dries it out and adds a little bit of that wind shear. Currently way out towards the Atlantic, so not building here in North Mississippi. And as we look a little bit closer, a lot of that dust sticking around Cozumel, Belize, well south of where we are here in coastal regions along the Gulf. So that's not helping at all with that forecast. But fortunately, the path that it took, it basically ruined itself by moving inland there towards Florida. So that's a good thing for us. Means that we're not going to see extreme tropical impacts here in North Mississippi. That's what we expect heading into the next 24 to 48 hours as that moves a little bit more in the Gulf. We're definitely paying attention to it, but hopefully it'll keep that same track moving right there through Florida. So for that 7-day forecast, I know this was a lot to talk about, but I felt like everything needed to be talked about because this is our next 3 days of weather. And all that 3 days, I'm sorry it had to be in such a long format, but that's just how we got to do things here. Wednesday still very isolated with showers, but Thursday and Friday, that's your heightened chances of rainfall, including into Saturday with some rumbles of thunder expected within that. Really going to see a few isolated thunderstorms possible each day, but it's really the rainfall that we'll see as the highest impacts. Sunday still having that moisture stick around, but by the time that moisture dissolves on out, Monday and Tuesday, those temperatures ramp right back up, back into the mid-90s by Tuesday, and there you see the heat indices returning. So expect more heat advisories as the 7 days go on, but especially for tomorrow, being on the safe side, getting everything you need to get done early, and you might see something tomorrow about that. But getting everything you need to get done early and staying hydrated in the process. If it's peak heating in the afternoon, go ahead and stay indoors or eat a slushie, something to keep you cool. But anyway, so that's just plenty of ways that we can beat the heat this summer, and that's just typical Mississippi fashion. So for folks that have any comments, do we have any comments?
No, but you do have the North Mississippi.
I'm honored. Thank you guys for your cameras, giving us great shots tonight, great sunsets. Make sure to tune into the 24-hour stream about would that be 8, 8:15, 8:30, somewhere in that time frame. Get to tune into all of the sunsets across North Mississippi. It's really just a spectacle to watch. So shout out North Mississippi Storm Chasers. You guys rock. Go check them out and see what all they have to offer. But we appreciate you guys watching. We hope that you tune in tomorrow at 5 and 6 and, of course, 10 o'clock right now tomorrow. And we'll walk through the latest on that tropics, what the forecast is showing, and how long the heat will stick around for. Maybe some relief by this weekend. So all of that coming up and more, so make sure to keep it here with Mississippi Live Weather for the very latest. And of course, we do have our app. A lot of you are watching on the app right now. So thank you so much for downloading it. But if you haven't, go ahead and go to the App Store, look up Mississippi Live, or for iOS and Android, look up Mississippi Live Weather, download it today, and trust me, you won't regret you doing that. It is a blessing. You guys are a blessing, and we're so glad you joined us tonight. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. And there's the app on your screen, QR code, really making it easy to download it. You don't have to search anything. You just scan that QR code on your screen, take you where you need to go, and download it today. Roku, make sure to search Mississippi Live. Don't include the weather, and download it on your streaming devices today. So we appreciate you guys joining us yet again. Can't say that enough. We'll see you right back here tomorrow at 5.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.